Hey there, I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Scott Padgett. Thanks for finding us right here on CBS News Texas, CBSTexas.com. All right, just walking you through our first alert weather day, and we have it in place today and tomorrow because of this extreme cold warning in place and these dangerous wind chills that we have been seeing this morning. Here's a live look, or trying to look outside from our Dallas City Cam, where it's 14 degrees, but it feels like 3 below right now. In Arlington, 15 degrees with a northwest wind at 18. Feels colder than that. The single digits. The camera pointed at Buc-ee's at Texas Motor Speedway is 12 degrees, but feels like 6 below, and across parts of North Texas. Here's downtown Dallas, our Dallas newsroom camera. You can see the roadways there, nice and dry for us. So let's take a look at exactly what's happening for us as we're stepping on out of the door this morning. And I want to show you the first alert radar. And I've been looking at this as we've gone through the morning hours. And here's Louisville Lake. And then I've been watching this band over the last 3 hours, at times breaking up, but we've been seeing some lake effect snow coming off of Louisville Lake because of these strong northwest winds gusting to near 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it's interesting to talk about lake effect snow. And I want to bring in our CBS News Texas's Trevor Sohaki. You're in the Irving area. And Trevor, I owe you coffee for being out there. So let me know what your coffee order is. Second, I think I'm seeing some snow falling right now. Let me know what's going on in Irving, where I've seen this band off and on setting up.
Yeah, Scott. So first things first, most importantly, vanilla latte, please, and thank you. That'd be greatly appreciated. I'm sure my photographer, Andy, would also appreciate an orange juice or maybe a dark coffee as well. We've been all over. So yeah, like you said, snow is kind of coming down right now. You can see it a little bit. We're not seeing a lot of big snowflakes, not a lot of those heavier snowflakes, but you definitely can see them now as compared to those granular snowflakes that we've been seeing, at least earlier in the Grapevine area. You can tell just all around us, it is actually starting to pick up, and you can actually they are starting to stick to the ground, and they're starting to stick to sides of the road as well. Of course, we are here 635 behind us, not really sticking to the road per se, which is obviously a good thing here, but still on the sides of the road, you can see them picking up, because we are getting all that lake effect snow. Let's just go, and since we have some fun and I've been told that we have unlimited time, let's just see how much we're getting here. It's not much. You know, you can see it in my hand there. It's not really that much. It's very light, very easy to pick up. Unfortunately, not snowman making snow here, not snowman making weather per se, because this wind is still very cold. It's a little bit warmer than we had earlier this morning when we were out, and it was feeling like -5, -7 degrees. A little bit warmer now, but still, that wind comes through. I am wearing probably at least 5 layers right now. I got my ski gloves on, hood, of course, so it's still very, very cold outside. But it's really this stretch of land that you showed in the map earlier, Scott, this stretch of land here that's getting this lake effect snow, because as you continue to drive along 635, if you just go a couple miles more down the road that way, or a couple miles more down the road that way, there's no snow whatsoever. But it's this band right here that we're on. This is where all the snow is kind of accumulating, and you can see the snow. It's moving horizontally, so there's still a lot of snow that's coming down right now, Scott.
Trevor, as you were showing us, and I appreciate you demonstrating that the snow is very fine. It's very dry snow because of the dry air that is in place, and that's what lake effect snow these bands are. Now, I have a very important question for you, Trevor. Would you rather be standing there in all of your 5 layers or be in Tampa right now?
I've been talking with my Tampa friends, and it is 70 degrees there in Tampa right now. However, I also had to check in on my Saginaw, Michigan friends. For any of you who aren't aware, that's 2 hours north of Detroit, and it is 4 degrees in Saginaw, Michigan right now. So you get it one way or the other, you don't get it both. My parents are out in balmy California, so they're the ones who are really winning if we're asking.
Yeah, and you know, Trevor, as you've been out and about, I know you've been all over, you and Andy, we appreciate you guys being out. Have you noticed a lot of people really bundled up, or has it seemed a little bit more deserted as people are staying inside?
I would say definitely on the more deserted side. People are definitely sticking to staying inside. I've been seeing some posts on Facebook and people commenting saying, hey, I'm calling in to work today, I'm calling out sick, or I'm gonna work from home today. We were just out at Grapevine and we actually encountered a dog walker. She had a husky mix who apparently cannot go without a walk no matter what the weather is outside. We know those huskies love their cold weather. This husky was just loving the snow, loving the cold. She was bundled up and she was like, listen, she's getting 1 mile today instead of 2 miles today just because I got to stay warm. We're also at a high school also as well later in the day. And those high schoolers, they are bundled up. Thankfully, most of those high schools are inside. They don't really have to go outside unless they're playing athletics. You know, of course, you see the high schoolers, maybe some of those boys with shorts on or something like that. But beyond that, most of them are pretty normal, if you will, wearing the jeans, leggings, whatever, and a jacket on top. But for the most part, not a lot of people outside. Many people heeding the warnings of our first alert weather day and saying, listen, I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to stay inside.
All right, and Trevor, now you get to stay back inside. Thank you so much for joining us. You are clear, and I will find a way to get that coffee to you and the orange juice or the coffee to Andy as well. All right, the photographer. So this is what we were looking at, that lake effect snowman. You notice it's tapering off a bit, but traveling its way down to near DeSoto, traveling its way down into the Waxahachie area. A meteorologist, Aaron Moran, showed some snow falling in the Waxahachie area, just texting me a little bit earlier. Want to show you DFW Airport, and you can see American Airlines, a lot of the planes there. De-icing, of course, happening today at our area airports. It is 14 degrees right now at DFW with that north wind at 22. You can't see a plane there taxiing right now. So not seeing any problems on the runways, but definitely the de-icing happening. Look at our temperature tracker. Now, we're up to 14 degrees at DFW, so it's a little bit warmer. The lowest we've seen so far at DFW was 13. The record low on this date, 9. So we're approaching record low territory. We did not get there. The high so far has been about 19. That's right around midnight or so. We're going to be back into the upper 20s, I think, later today. Right now, that feels like temperature at DFW about 4 below. So 14 degrees the current temperature, and seeing some snow being reported still around DFW. But look at that, north wind at 22, gusting up to 28 miles per hour. So the temperatures are at 10 in Decatur to 15 in Rockwall, 14 in Grand Prairie to 14 in Duncanville, 14 in Greenville, 9 in Bowie to 11 in Graham. But when you factor in the wind, it's this. It feels like 6 below in Denton, to 5 below in Fort Worth, to 3 below in Greenville, to about 6 below in Keller, to about 3 below in Duncanville, to about 3 below in Burleson. We want to now go down to Crowley, where we find meteorologist Brittany Rainey, who's been out and about this morning. Brittany, I tried to keep you in the car long enough when I was talking to Trevor, but now you got to be outside in the really cold air. You know, you've been around North Texas this morning, and as a meteorologist, it's been kind of cool to see lake effect snow, steam on the lakes. You know, what have you been experiencing this morning?
You know, I haven't gotten to see any of that cool stuff firsthand. I've been hearing you talk about it all morning, but I've lived in Montana, Indianapolis, Nebraska, so I've experienced lots of cool snow. But it has been really interesting to see the snow, especially here. It picks up and then it lets up. Right now we have those very fine little flurries, but even just about 5 minutes ago, we had the big fat flakes that were moving through, and that's when we started to see more of that accumulation of the snow. But we were also telling you that there was that potential for some ice. I mean, this is what you would consider black ice. It just looks like water, but that is definitely solid ice out there. And that's why we moved over to the parking lot, because we've been out driving on the roads. We were over in the park earlier, but especially in the parking lots, if you're headed out to the grocery store, or maybe you're running an errand to any one of the stores behind us, you are going to want to watch out for some of this patchy ice. And you can really see how strong that wind is, that snow just dancing across the roadways. And earlier, Tim and I, my photographer, we were admiring some of the snow devils that we were seeing right up against the entrances to some of these buildings. You would just get to see what else? I don't know how you would call it other than a snow devil. It was really cool. You get that rotating snow there because you have the wind coming down some of these pathways on the streets, and then it's coming from another direction. You get some of that rotation, but it's definitely bitterly cold out here. It is luckily that light, fine, powdery snow, so the wind is blowing it around, keeping it off of the main roadways. There you go. You can really see some of those gusts as that snow just dances across the roadway. And the accumulations are staying off to the side. but you are going to want to watch out for some patchy ice tomorrow because with temperatures staying so cold, we still could see a little bit of ice out there where some of this snow is. But it has been pretty fun to be out here. I know you asked Trevor if he would rather be in Tampa or be out here in all the layers. I grew up in Tampa. I worked there too, even later in life. I would still pick this over being in Tampa right now. It's kind of fun getting to bundle up, but you do need to minimize your time outdoors because it is pretty dangerous, especially if you have any of that exposed skin. I had on a shorter jacket earlier. It was not warm enough, so I had to go with the sleeping bag with arms. I mean, I've got multiple layers. This is the thick ski snow pants going on, and then the snow boots, multiple other jackets underneath this, the hat, and you kind of get a brain freeze. Even if you come out here and you just have your hood up but you don't have the hat on underneath it for a couple of minutes, you start to get a headache. So it is definitely that Arctic air in place right now, Scott.
Well, and I hate to keep you out there a little bit longer, but Brittany, can you let me pick up some of the snow to show how fine it is? Because our dew points are in the single digits, right? Yeah, there's that really fine snow. So yeah, Brittany, talk about how the reason why,
I lost
because
my IFB, so if you ask me another question, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. She lost her IFB.
What you're saying, but you definitely
powdery effect.
Yes, it's definitely incredibly powdery, and this would be one of maybe fun snow if you could make a snowball and throw it at your friends like Tim here, but you can't even do that. By the time you just get it into your hand, it just disappears because of the wind out there, and that's that effect of that drier. When you don't have that moisture, you get the tiny little snow grains out there as opposed to the big fat wet flakes where you can compact it. This is just very almost kind of magical if you can enjoy it from the inside.
Well, the magic now is that you get to go enjoy it from the inside, Brittany. Thanks so much. All right, come back here, let Brittany, Tim warm up. We appreciate you, meteorologist Brittany Rady, giving us also that little science lesson. So I want to show you that our temperature today is going to try to bump up to about 27 to 28 degrees this afternoon. Then you notice continue to drop down all the way down to I think maybe even 12 degrees by tomorrow morning. That will be a new record low. We're going to stay below freezing all day today, and I think most of Thursday. We're going to stay below freezing as well. I don't think we're going to make it up above freezing until Friday. So today's forecast upper 20s for us to maybe some spots near the freezing mark or slightly above in the southeast sides of North Texas. Want to show you something interesting from our storm chaser, Jason McLaughlin. This is what we saw coming off of Lake Bridgeport this morning. So you see kind of like the steam fog or in the lake steam in a sense with the warmer lake waters, those strong winds picking that moisture up and then depositing that, and you see the ice accumulating in all the vegetation there along Lake Bridgeport. That's on the east side of the lake. You can see the waves because of those strong winds gusting up to 25 to 30, 35 miles per hour. So definitely a winter wonderland in some spots of North Texas. The birds loving it for right now. Coming back to the maps, you're able to see that again. Our temperatures are going to be feeling very cold through the remainder of the morning hours into the afternoon, feeling like the single digits or the teens overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Even though the winds will be lighter, it's going to feel extremely cold, 0 to about 5 degrees below zero in the southeast sides of North Texas, feeling about 5 to 10 degrees above, and then tomorrow afternoon feeling like the 20s. So the extreme cold warning remains in effect through 9 a.m. on Thursday with our first alert weather days in place because of temperatures feeling as cold as 12 degrees below zero. The advisory area about 5 degrees above. Now, your first alert 7-day forecast shows I think will thaw out on Friday, Saturday 48, Sunday 61. And then here is what you want to see. We're going to be thawing out even more. Going into next Monday and Tuesday, sunny skies and temperatures in the mid to the low 70s. Thanks for finding us here on CBS News Texas, and we're streaming on CBSTexas.com. Don't forget, download the CBS News app. Maybe you already did. You're watching us there. We appreciate that. You can also find us on Pluto TV. We will have another update today on this winter weather that we have here, this first alert weather day coming up today on CBS News Texas at 11 a.m. See you then.